Welcome to VBM's Biology. Now let us learn about the digestive changes that occur in small intestine. Small intestine contains mainly three parts. The first part is duodenum, and the next part is jejunum, and the further proceeded part is ileum. This is the longest part in human digestive system, which measures about 8 meters long, nearly 22 feet roughly, and this is folded and hidden in the abdominal cavity. So this is small intestine. The first part of small intestine is duodenum, where liver and pancreas are added, and the next part is jejunum, and the much folded part is ileum. The walls of small intestine contain digestive glands called intestinal glands. These intestinal glands secrete intestinal juice. Intestinal glands secrete intestinal juice. Intestinal juice is otherwise known as intestinal juice is secreted by intestinal glands, and it is otherwise known as succus entericus. This contains many enzymes, and it also works under basic nature. In case of succus entericus, there are many enzymes and a group of enzymes which digest sugars. For example, there is an enzyme called maltase. In case of saliva, there is an enzyme called salivary amylase, which is also called ptyalin, which converts starches into maltose sugars, which is a disaccharide. That disaccharide is converted into glucose by the action of maltase. This maltase converts maltose sugar into glucose. Maltose is a disaccharide, whereas glucose is a monosaccharide. Thus, conversion of maltose into glucose is done by maltase. Similarly, which sugar is called cane sugar? Sucrose. That sucrose is converted into glucose by the action of an enzyme called sucrase. Sucrase converts sucrose into glucose. Thus, ases are the enzymes, whereas the oses are the sugars. Which sugar is called milk sugar? Lactose. This lactose is converted into glucose by the action of, I think you have guessed it, that is none other than lactase. So lactose is converted into glucose by the action of lactase. Thus, a group of sugars are converted into glucose by the action of ases. Finally, glucose is the end product of carbohydrates. So various sugars are converted into glucose. Thus, digestion of carbohydrates is completed by small intestine. Glucose is the end product of carbohydrates. Succus entericus means intestinal juice also contain some other enzymes like enterokinase. Already we discussed about it. This converts inactive enzymes secreted by pancreas into duodenum, that is trypsinogen. That trypsinogen is converted into trypsin by the action of this enterokinase. So this activation of trypsinogen present in pancreatic juice into trypsin is regulated by enterokinase, which is an enzyme present in Succus entericus. Next, this intestinal juice also contains peptidase. This peptidase converts peptides and polypeptides into amino acids. These amino acids are the end products of proteins. Thus, peptides and polypeptides are converted into amino acids by the action of peptidase. So, protein end products amino acids are also formed in small intestine. And it also contains an enzyme which acts on fats, that is lipase. This lipase already we discussed, which is also present in pancreatic juice. This lipase converts remaining fats into its end products such as fatty acids and glycerols. Fatty acids and glycerols are the end products of fats. So, by the completion of digestion in small intestine, we will find some end products. All the carbohydrates are converted into glucose. So glucose is the simplest sugar, and proteins are converted into amino acids. And similarly fats are converted into fatty acids and glycerols. So why this conversion has been occurred and what is the process of digestion can be defined here. These carbohydrates, proteins and fats are the huge molecules which cannot be absorbed into blood vessels and which cannot be circulated through blood capillaries. So these complex food molecules are converted into simple food molecules such as glucose, amino acids, fatty acids and glycerols. These are the simple food molecules. These are complex. These are simple. So conversion of complex food molecules into simple food molecules by the action of enzymes is nothing but digestion. So conversion of complex food molecules into simple food molecules which are capable to be absorbed into blood is called digestion. So simply we can define conversion of complex food molecules into simple food molecules is called digestion. The digestion is completed by the end of small intestine, and the end products of digestion are absorbed into the walls of small intestine. How they are absorbed into the walls of small intestine is to be known. To know that, we have to know the structure of small intestine. Let us learn about it in the next part.